Hey, Coach. Sorry. Hey, Coach. Anthony Merced with AGM Sports FC. So we've heard a lot about the defense this year, players coming in and out. How strong do you feel about the defensive core of this team? Should we expect any additions, and how have they performed during preseason?
We are always trying to evaluate our roster in any given moment and try to figure out how we can improve. And so that part never ends. You guys have also heard me talk enough by now to know that I see the game as very connected. I don't look just at defending by itself. I think how well you defend and how good of a defensive team you are is directly connected to what you do when you have the ball, how you attack, how well you counterpress. And so for me, the game is fast and fluid and dynamic, and it's only going more and more that direction. And so when we talk about our football, our ideas, it is about being as complete a team as possible. It is about a package of football ideas that include how we play, how we attack, what we want to do when we lose the ball, how we defend, how that connects with our mentality, our spirit, how that connects with the culture and what we do in training every day, how all of that gets put together. So for me, it's generally speaking, the work with this group has been very, very positive. From day one, they have been extremely open, willing to listen, ready to work every single day, take our ideas on the training field, bring them to life. And so, yeah, we're the part of becoming a good team, of building a team that can hold up on the hardest days. That's the work, and that never stops. And so, yes, the season starts this weekend. We're all really excited, but the part of now building a real team, the work never stops.
Before we keep going, please no flash photography during the press conference. Thank you. We'll go to Mark.
Hey, Coach. Mark Fishkin with Seeing Red. To build on what Anthony said, you've got a new attack coming together with two new additions on the wings that seem to generate some positive play during the preseason. Can you talk about how Cade and George are integrating with the rest of the squad and your feelings on the Rebel attack?
Cade and George have come in and established themselves really well within the group, and so we're excited to have them. They have shown everybody the qualities that they have in terms of their speed, their ability to dribble, their ability to really put opposing defenses on their heels, and just as important, they have shown everybody the types of people they are, the way they are with their teammates, the way they train. That part fits into who we are and what we want to be in every way. So we are, really happy to have them. Obviously, Cade has played in MLS before, and so for him, the part of coming back to the league at this point in his career and being ready to show everybody how much he has improved and how he can take the experience that he had in Mexico and be an even better player. And George comes to MLS at a point in his career where he is very, very motivated to show people in this country how good he is and the potential that he has.
Next, go to Luca.
Hi, Coach. Luca Richmond with Red Bulls Experience. I'm curious, the past week you've had 3 preseason games, all the same result, 3-2. The first time during the preseason where you kind of had a consistent run of 3 games in a week, maybe you were able to build off of previous results. What do you think the team kind of did differently as the games went on in the past week? And despite the results, what growth areas did you see in just the past week?
Sorry, what do I think the team did differently? I missed the part.
Because you had a quick run of game after game.
Okay, yeah.
For the first time
Yeah. The trip to Texas was really positive in every way. The quality of the games was excellent. We played 3 good teams. We played 3 games in stadiums. We played the first game and the third game in a stadium with fans. You know, especially the third game in Houston had the feel of had as much of a feel of a regular season game as you could possibly have in preseason. And so, for a new team, for a young group to now have the experience a week before the season starts of stepping on the field and playing in a game like that part was really, really positive. In terms of results, yeah, look, preseason can be strange. On a lot of days, you have pre-planned subs that you're going to make at any given point in the match. It could be that you're making wholesale changes at halftime. It could be that you're going to let a group go 60 minutes and then change all 10 for the last 30 minutes. And obviously, we have our ideas about what we want to do, and the other team has ideas about how they're going to do it, and it's not always the same. So we used every minute of preseason in terms of training and matches to work on how we can be the best version of who we want to be and the football that we want to play and how we want to step on the field every single weekend. And so, we had good training. We took the time every single day to, make sure that whether it was individual video, team video, that we were connecting dots for the players between what things look like in the games to how we create certain things in training to make sure that, again, on an individual and a collective level, the picture that we have in our head of who we want to be continues to get that much clearer. And so I'm really, really happy with the work. And yeah, you get to the end of preseason and you can only play so many preseason games before it's time to start the real thing. So we're all really excited for that.
Next, go to Mohammed.
Coach Mohammed with the Exchange. Your father is coached the Egyptian national team, and you coached with him in the Swedish club. So, what did you take from your father while being his assistant, and then also from his past coaching career as well?
That's a long list. Look, I've been very lucky to share the game with my dad since I was very young, and whether I even realized it or not, I was always learning. I was always picking things up, always trying to understand how he saw things, understand how he sees the game, the way that he connects with his players, how he talks about certain things. And so that part, I'm lucky. I've always been around that. And then the part when I then had the chance to actually go and work for him, yeah, that the light shined in an even different way. And so to see behind the scenes, up close every single day, how he works, how he, the rhythm of a morning to get ready for training, how he puts together, how his brain works in terms of what we did in training, or how, the video that we were gonna show on any given day. And so, yeah, as a young coach, to have that opportunity to be, to work for him, to be in a staff with him every day, that set me up in a really, really good way for the beginning of my coaching career.
Next, go right here.
Hi, I'm Jeremy with the Mirror. I wanted to ask about your relationship with Greater Red Bull Football, the likes of Jurgen Klopp and Mario Gomez. Do you have any personal relationships or direct lines of communication with either of them and their staff? And how important is the Greater Red Bull Football ecosystem to you?
I have very good relationships with both Jurgen and Mario. I'm here thanks to a lot of people, and they are two of them. So when I was done as an assistant coach in Norway in November of 2024, the first person that I spoke to at Red Bull was Mario. And it was not long after Jurgen had gotten the job as head of global soccer. And it wasn't anything official at that point on my end, but it was a chance to connect with Mario and hear a little bit from him about where things were headed. And then in January of last year, I started having more discussions with Jochen and Julian at Red Bull New York. And then in February, when Mario and Jurgen and Jolt Löw and Pete Kravitz came through New York as they were giving Jurgen kind of his initial look at all of the Red Bull clubs, I had the opportunity to spend the morning with those guys. And what an opportunity that was. And so for me as a young coach, the part of how Jurgen sees the game, his vision for Red Bull football going forward, how he wants to take the essence and the fabric of what Red Bull football has always been in terms of the intensity, the pressing, the counter-pressing, the aggression, and how he wants to combine that with football, with ideas of creating chances, of scoring more goals, of playing in a way that's even more entertaining and more exciting. That fits to a T with how I see the game and with my ideas. And so I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them and the vision that they have for Red Bull football going forward.
Next, we'll go to Joe.
Hi, Michael. Be back. Hey.
How are you?
When it comes to just instilling your vision, getting your style of play sort of on track, how much do you lean on a guy like Emil Forsberg to help kind of move that message along?
In a huge way, to take advantage of the experienced players in any team, to find the right ways to connect with them, to make sure that they know how much you value their leadership, how much you value the experiences that they have in the game, not just at Red Bull New York, but in Emil's case, Red Bull Leipzig, his experience with the national team. That is as a young coach, as a new coach in a team, your ability to hit the ground running and find ways to connect with these guys, that's so important. And obviously, when you work with Emil every day, and when you see firsthand how much he loves the game, how much he loves to train, when you see the way that he has with his teammates, that part is incredible. And so he and I have developed a really good relationship early on, and certainly for us to be at our best and to be a really good team this season, we need to find the right ways to get the absolute most out of Emil.
Next, we'll go to Christian. We can pass the mic back to him. Thank you.
Christian Arnold with the New York Post. Thanks. Just to go back to the attack for a second, in terms of the chemistry between George and Eric and Cade, just from your time watching them, what little intricacies do you think they've started to get between the three of them already during the preseason camp? And obviously they had a little bit of magic the other day. Do you think there's a ways to go before they're fully at the capacity of what they can do or what you envision doing, or how close do you think that finished product per se is?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I mean, and I touched on it a little bit in my first answer. Generally speaking, the part of building a team, of having a team that can hold up in the best games against the hardest opponents, yeah, that's work and that's time, and that is something that we will never stop trying to improve. The work of preseason is to, especially a new coach with a new group, establish ideas, establish a foundation, a way of playing, a way of thinking, a way of training, how we connect that part every single day for again every individual player, but the team as well. And the beauty of football, the beauty of sport is still that there is a part to all of that where the connection between players, their understanding, how that gets developed and worked on, that is, you can't always put a perfect finger on that. You can't always describe that in a perfect way. There's a part to that has to come with work and time and the right training and over and over again playing together. And so the way that we put together training every day means that we try to maximize the amount of time, the amount of football, the amount of time that these guys get to spend doing the things that they do on the weekend, right? And that means how many game actions can we create every single day that challenge them to see more, to think faster, to execute better, and do that all in the context of their teammates and who they're playing with. And so, yeah, I feel really good about the work. All of our attacking players continue to pick up ideas and take the things that we're talking about every single day and apply them in a good way. And then there's the part where they have to use their qualities and they have to use their personality to make sure that when they step on the field, their personality and their quality comes out. And so we work on that every single day.
Everyone, we have time for one more question. Michael, we'll go to William.
Hey, Coach. My name is Bill Hathaway from Local Talk North. I just want to know your expectations and who will be your key players on the field this year.
The expectations are that we have a group that steps on the field every single weekend and goes for it, goes after the opponent, no matter who we play against, no matter where, that we step on the field with a strong mentality, try to play our football, try to put the game on our terms, compete like crazy until the final whistle blows. And when that game ends, we will use it as a way to learn and to get better, and then we're going to get ready to do it again and again and again, 34 times over again. And I feel strongly that if you can create that mentality, if a group can have that starting point, that identity, that the results come. That at the end of the year, when we're counting points to see who's in the playoffs and who's not, and who's in the top few places and who's not, that we're going to be in a good spot. But the work is every day, and the focus is on one game every weekend, 34 times over again. In terms of key players, I'll take the easy way out and say every single one of them, okay? The older, experienced players in the group, I'm going to count on them in a big way to lead, to give the right example every day, how to be a professional, how to train, how to treat your teammates. The expectation for them is that when they're on the field, they're not only giving their best, but playing at a high level. And then we have a lot of young players, and the environment every day is going to challenge them. It's going to give them an opportunity that if they can improve, if they can get better, that they are going to also be given chances. And when they get their chance, we want them to go for it, and we want them to show that they have real quality and that they can be important parts of the team regardless of how old they are. And so a team is everybody. A team is the group buying into something together. And so that work began a little over a month ago, and that's going to continue every single day as we move through the season.